More than once I have seen headlines such as Russians are advancing in Zaporizhzhya direction. First, as you can see, they attack on the field, in droves. Almost without equipment. The Russians do not have enough of them everywhere. Without clearing the minefields. Why do they need it now? In order to distract and simulate more activity, while getting a lot of damage. The figures of the occupants eliminated daily are almost never below the 700 mark now. In the south, enemy forces can only rely on the logistics of the Crimean Bridge. It is very difficult to transport systematically from Russia by rail through Melitopol. The AFU has fire control in this direction. And the offensive is a multiple increase in fuel and ammunition consumption, not counting the repair logistics. At the same time, the Russian invaders have even run out of 122 caliber howitzers. The field artillery everywhere consists of heavy howitzers. Remember in the last video I said 152mm howitzer M1943 of Stalin's times. Well, it's heavy scrap metal, short range. And the shells are very heavy, you need more soldiers than usual to maintain the gun. In the case of an offensive on Zaporizhzhya, the invaders will physically have a total shortage of everything very soon. Not only for the offensive, but also for defense. They can't take that risk. The Zaporizhzhya circus is a temporary attack, a distraction. The main forces of the occupiers will focus on the Donbass. So, let's go over Leopard II. Just because the Ukrainians didn't get it yesterday doesn't mean they won't get it tomorrow. Figuratively, of course. But a few fundamental points must be understood. First, Ukraine's partners have an understanding of the need to provide Ukraine with tanks. That is, if earlier the question was only about Soviet models of tanks, then now the question of provision of Western models of tank armament is being discussed. Both previous generations and modern ones. Secondly, a mission to train Ukrainian Leopard II crews has started. The process of training and maintenance of Leopard II tanks is not a task of a day or a week, but at least a month. In turn, during this month or more a decision can be made to transfer this type of armament to Ukraine. Thirdly, the absence of Western tank armament will have an impact on the counteroffensive capabilities of the AFU, but it is situational. Ukraine is a large country, with diverse geography, landscapes, terrain, as well as situationality in the area of combat operations. The most striking example is the liberation of the Kharkiv region, which was carried out by the AFU without shock tank fists, while the enemy in this location had the largest armored group in the entire combat zone. The result is known to all. Some of this enemy equipment went to the Ukrainian Armed Forces as trophies. Yes, there are locations where they cannot do without tanks. They should play the role of the main or auxiliary breakthrough, offensive element. But there are locations where the role of tank fists is not even second planned, but third planned. And as long as Berlin continues to nurture the solution, the process can go on. But this does not exclude the fact that modern tanks will be needed by the AFU to fully liberate the territory of Ukraine according to the borders of 1991. The question is different. This historic event will happen with or without Leopard II tanks, but it will be impossible to restore the reputation of some characters.